This is rough. Whew. This is rough, okay? I got a lot going on. Don't understand what's happening, but that must mean there's something good in this video for y'all. Stuff is all off. Like, my stuff is just off. Like, my camera set, all. It's just, y'all pray for me. Goodness. Hello, my loves. Hey, guys. Hello, hello. Hey, Michelle. I miss you. I need to get with you. Come think of it. So let me remember that, hopefully. Hi, everybody. Whew, whew. And I got notes today, so y'all know this gonna be good. Cause I don't usually have like notes in front of me. But hey, everybody, how was your week? How was your day? How are things going? Gotta get my stuff together. Hello, hello. Hey, Regina. I definitely will. Michelle. Hello. Whew, I'm a little late. It's going rough right now, but to God be the glory. You know, all is well. All is well. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, my loves. Okay, so I can see y'all. Oh, let me turn that. There you go. Okay. Yes, I can see y'all comments and stuff. Hey, everybody. I hope everything is going well with you guys. It is me. I'm just going to jump into it because I am late and I am, it's a lot. But, yeah, I am your, fave life coach, relationship coach, all of that. I want you guys to go follow me if you don't follow me on my business page. It's the Architect's Table on Facebook. I have that, and on Instagram I have the Life Architect _. If you want to contact me, my email is the architectstable@yahoo.com. You can also contact me in my DMs, inboxes, and all that kind of stuff as well. So today my topic is spiritual warfare, and I got this topic from watching Empire, but I'm going to start with telling you guys how my week kind of went, and that's how I also know that this, you know, is a good topic to talk about, especially with all the stuff that we're going through right now, you know. So I had kind of a mixed feeling week, let me say. Like, my feelings were kind of up and down this week. Like, I had a couple of conversations with some people that kind of helped me through my days and stuff. You know, I had shedded some tears this week, you know, over some stuff, and it was over, you know, dealing with really myself. I can't blame anyone else. I can't get mad at anyone else. I can't point fingers at anyone else. It is me and the things that I struggle with, some of the internal things I struggle with, some of the battles and demons that I struggle with personally. And so as I was thinking about my life and my purpose and my calling, and I'm thinking about these projects I'm trying to do and businesses that I have, thinking about all these things, and also while watching other people do their thing as well. So sometimes that can get tough for people, you know, when you are trying to do some things and it seems like you're behind, and it seems like you're not doing it well, and it seems like it's not going how you want it to go, and it can be tough, you know. Hey, Regina, it can be tough to kind of press through and fight through that kind of stuff, you know, when you're going through your daily life. And sometimes doubt can creep in. Sometimes doubt can kind of sit there on your mind and kind of make you kind of give up on the things that you want to do, and kind of get you to kind of stop doing those things and give up on it and believe that you're not worthy of doing them. And so after having a couple of conversations this week with some people encouraging me. One was my brother. We had this amazing conversation earlier this week about our purposes and our dreams and our goals and stuff like that. And he said some key things that caused me to leap into doing some new things. Also, my husband, who is always on my side, always trying to help me see the me that I don't see sometimes. He, kind of pressed me, and my best friend, talking to her, one of my best friends talking to her. And so I decided to not look at, and it's still going to be tough because I've said it before. I've decided to, hey Natalie, I miss you. How you doing? Not to just focus on what's on the outside of me, because what we have to learn when we are doing whatever God has called us to do, what we have to learn is we're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. That's number one. Who I reach, you may not reach. That's number two. Number three, just because it doesn't look like what someone else is doing doesn't mean that you don't have impact, doesn't mean that you don't have influence, doesn't mean that what you're doing is not relevant. So you have to keep that in mind when you're going through all of these things. And it never fails. Every time I have projects that I'm thinking of doing and I say, oh yeah, I'm going to do it, then doubt will come in and be like, no, you can't do that. You're not going to do it well. It's already been done and done and done. But what I have learned, and what people have told me over time too, yes, it has been done, but they may not do it how you do it. You have a different way of seeing stuff and a different way of reaching people and a different way of doing it. So it may be something that people really gravitate to. And I've seen that. And for me to doubt some things, it's crazy, because I've seen it happen. I've seen where I've not thought that some things were going to work out, or some things were going to happen a certain way, and then they end up, turning out to be absolutely amazing, and they end up being these things that I continue to do and that people continue to want me to do, things that, I am like, yeah, this may be a one-time thing, or I may do this for this little bit of time, and then people are steady asking. Like when I started Girls Jam, which is an event that I do every year for women, as for women empowerment, and I put a little spin on women's conferences where we all come together and we're in our PJs and we come together and we have a good old time. We do games. It's like a big slumber party. And so when I first did it, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to do it and see how it go. It has been in demand since I've done it. Like, people have wanted me to do it multiple times a year, but I haven't gotten there yet. The Lord, hasn't given me that kind of endurance to do that more than once. So, I kept that going. I did it again, and it turned out to be very successful, as well, with this event that I do for teen moms. Something that I have never really seen. I do an event for teen moms, and I, give away all of this stuff to teen moms because I was a teen mom. So I felt like there was something they needed a space for them. So all of my other stuff that I have done, and the one thing that I did this week that I started was Talks with Toya, and I do that on Instagram live instead of doing it here, because I wanted to create a platform for me on Instagram as well to get my reach out there a little more. And even in doing that, it's kind of like, okay, everybody doing these things on Instagram live and stuff like that. I'm not gonna do it, but hey, what else we doing in this pandemic? Nothing. So y'all can sit and watch me and the people that I have on there or whatever, and we just get on there and talk. If you missed it, go watch the one with my brother. It was absolutely hilarious. It'll probably gone, I think it's gone like in 24 hours, so you have maybe 2 more hours to catch it. But it was so fun, and I'm glad that I actually, did it or whatever. And as I also was thinking about the different projects I have and coming up with names for them and stuff, and I have another project that's coming up, and y'all listen, be ready, because a lot of y'all been asking for me to do this, and it's coming. I'm preparing to do it now, and I'm thinking of names for stuff. And I'm like, okay, Talks with Toya, you got Toya's Girl Jam, you got Toya's Nuggets, you got all this stuff. And I was like, why do I keep putting my name on stuff like that? Makes no sense. That is very unnecessary. And God said to me in that moment, Oprah does it. Okay, God, well, hey, come on here. Then very good. If my name gonna be on it, it's gonna be on it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So, hey, keep it pushing. So yeah, that was kind of my little battle this week, in the spirit, in with myself, with all of the things that I battle with in my mind. That was kind of what this week was. So when I had the topic spiritual warfare, and back to the reasoning for that topic, it's from when I was watching Empire. So I'm watching Empire, and I'm watching the episode where Andre is battling his demon, which is his brother in his head, but it's actually a mental state he's in. He has mental conditions. I don't want to name it wrong, so I'm not going to name it. He has mental conditions or whatever. So he has this battle, and this demon is talking to him and convincing him to do things that he would never do, and telling him that people are against him when they're really not, and telling him that he's not worthy, and all these kinds of things. So he ends up being admitted into a mental hospital, but eventually he escapes. So when he escapes the mental hospital, if you have not watched Empire, the last 2 episodes, you might not want to listen to me because I'm about to spoil it. So he escapes the mental hospital, and when he escapes the mental hospital, he goes to find his wife and his child. And when he goes to find his wife and his child, he's in a manic state, and he's in this state of hysteria, and this state of anger, and this state of nastiness, and just like red, like he just sees red, so he's in this negative space, this dangerous space, this harmful state, looking for his family. And he gets there, and his family is hiding from him, and then his dad shows up and kind of snaps him out of that state. And so the next scene we see, he's at church, and in the church there's this baptismal pool in front of the altar, and then there's this imaginary choir he's hearing sing, and I see them as angels. So he has this imaginary choir that I see as angels, and his demon is there talking to him. Hi, Coach Diane. His demon is there talking to him. And so the demon starts talking to him or whatever. Then he proceeds to force the demon's head into the water, in the baptismal pool. Y'all help me, Lord. He proceeds to push his head down into there, and continues to push his head down until he can snap him out of it. And then he hugs the demon, and he says to him, "We are both worthy." And that then causes the demon to leave. Now, the reason I say spiritual warfare, and yes, I know that mental illness is real. I know that mental stuff is a real thing, and I'm not saying don't go to the doctor. I'm not saying don't take meds. I'm not saying any of that. Get all of the opinions you need to get. Get the help that you need to get. Do all of that. But when I tell you the power of Jesus is something that nobody can ever compare to, nobody can ever compare to the blood of Jesus. It has power that can reach anything that you can't reach. You can't reach it with your own mind. You can't reach it with your own ways. You can't reach it, with what you have in you. You don't have the ability to do that. You can call on Jesus, and then now he is able to get to that demon that you're not able to get rid of. No matter what you do, you're not able to get rid of this demon, and he's able to cast that demon out. And in Mark 5, it shows where Jesus approaches a man who is filled with a demon that nobody was able to tame, nobody was able to control. But when Jesus got his hand on him, he was able to cast the demon out, and the demon fled inside of pigs. Okay, so what you have to understand is that we try everything in the world, and we forget that Jesus is the ultimate power. We forget that Jesus is the above and beyond anything that we can do, anything that we can think of. Jesus is the answer. And so when I, watching this, because listen, okay, when I watch stuff, I can get something out of anything, like Disney movies, cartoons. Like, I have a message. Like, I have a whole notebook full of stuff from cartoons and movies and all that kind of stuff. So, even I was talking to my sister one day, and we had been watching Black Lightning, and I had got something out of Black Lightning, and she was like, "How did you? I didn't even think of that, but now that you say it, that does, seem like that could have been what it was." Because I see stuff differently, because I just always look at stuff from a God, mentality sometimes, and from the word and all that kind of stuff. Because everything is spiritual. I don't care what anybody says. Everything is spiritual. It comes from spirits. Everything, whether it's demonic, whether it's heavenly, it's, all comes from something. The root is there. So there's going to be something in the word that's going to help you through a situation that you're dealing with, that's going to help you through something that you encounter. In the word, you're going to read something, and it's going to show you something. You be like, dog, so and so went through that in the Bible. So there's nothing new under the sun. So when you come to this, and I see this, and I get Mark 5 out of this situation on Empire, I'm just like, wow, that is so crazy, and they probably didn't think of it when they did it. They probably wasn't thinking from that mentality. I don't know, but I got that from that. And we have to understand that, no, don't negate doctors, don't negate medicine, don't negate getting counsel and therapy and all that kind of stuff. Don't negate that stuff, but don't negate the power of Jesus either. Don't forget the power of Jesus. And then when you get to the next episode, he starts to talk about how now he has to give his life and his work to God. Like, he has to serve God, because God was the reason he got out of this. And it reminded me also of being in a reprobate mind, because he at one time was all in for Christ, and then when his child and his wife died, it just kind of threw him, and it just had him in this place where he didn't even want to serve Christ anymore. He didn't even want to hear anything about God. He didn't even want to have any dealings with God or Christianity or the church or anything. And that happens to a lot of us. Something traumatic or something bad, something that may not even be that heavy, happens to us. But if our mental state can't handle it, if we feel like it's too much for us, if we're sad, if we're broken, if we're hurt, all it takes is for a moment. All it takes for something to be said. All it takes for something to be done, and we can change our whole perspective on something. We can change our whole outlook. We can feel a whole different way. It's like one day you can be happy, and the next day something is said or done, and it sends you into the space where it's like, dang, that sucks. That's why you have to have, this pandemic should teach people, you have to have a relationship with God outside of the church. Now, again, I am for the church. Like, I'm so ready for the church to open again, because when the church opened again, let me tell you something, I won't have this wig on. I'm gonna have my natural hair, which is fine because it's pretty. And I am going to be up in here with some flats on and all in some comfortable clothes, because I'm going to tear it down. Understand? I don't know if somebody can get the message to, the leaders and things. Let's kind of not, have all the extra stuff. Just come in and just go, just go for it when we get there. Because what we have to understand is, when you have a relationship with God, you can get through anything, really. You can get through stuff, because when you run out of the capacity to do it, he's there to take on the rest of the weight. He's just waiting for you to do your part. Faith without works is dead. So when we understand that, we will understand that I have to do my part. I have to believe God. I have to serve God. I have to do all the things in my capability that I can do, so that I can so I can defeat this, and so I can overcome this, so I can come out of this thing better. And when we just depend on the church, or we depend on other people to pray for us and go to God for us and to give us a word, we, in between the time from Sunday to the next time that you're in church, that enemy is waiting for you outside of the door. That enemy is waiting for you probably before you even get out of the church, because you're probably going to run into somebody or something while you're in church that is going to make you feel like whatever you just got taught, whatever you just heard, whatever you just felt in church, it will throw it all out of the window off of one word, one instance, one situation. That's all it takes. And that's why we have to be so strong with our relationship with Christ, so that our hearts and our minds are built for this, man. Because listen, the enemy is coming all the time. He doesn't take a break. He doesn't take a break. He doesn't give up. He wants to take you out. So you have to fight against your demons. You have to tell your demon, hey, I'm not doing this. You have to speak to that demon. You can't be scared of that demon. That's like somebody always being in trouble, or somebody always bothering somebody. You know, you have a bully, let's say, or whatever, and you always run to somebody else to fight your bully. The bully is going to always come after you when the other person is not around. That attack is always going to come for you when the other person isn't present. Say you always want mama, somebody else to pray for you. What if when they die and they're not your covering anymore? What do you do? Because you haven't built your own relationship, you're going to continue to deal with this. No matter how many people told Andre anything, how many people tried to talk to him, no matter how many people tried to help him, until he fought, until he spoke to that demon, until he went before God, that demon did not flee. Because no one else can do that for you. Yes, it's great to have intercessors. It's great to have prayer warriors, because I'm one of them. I will pray heaven down for you. Listen, I will pray heaven down. Understand? I am that person. But at the end of the day, if you can't reach me, if you can't get to me, if I can't fully understand what you're dealing with, if I can't fully speak to what you're dealing with, the best person to pray about that is you. The best person to go after that is you. The best person to defeat that enemy is you. You have to believe in yourself enough to know that you have to build this relationship and this thing to strengthen your spirit with Christ. Because with spiritual, like with this pandemic, spiritual warfare is needed at every given moment. You have to be able to fight in the spirit. We always want to fight with our words. We want to fight with our hands. We want to go toe to toe with folks. And you doing all this talking, and the enemy sitting there looking like, baby, you not tough. You don't have anything. You can't do anything, because you don't know the blood of Jesus. So you can't do anything to me. You can sit there and you can talk all day. You can say whatever. You can quote your scriptures. You can go to church. You can sing your songs. But if your relationship with Christ isn't real, that enemy will take you out. So you have to be very mindful of that. You have to be very mindful of what you're doing with your daily life, and what you're saying, and what you're putting into your spirit. Because you got to be able to, whatever's in your spirit, you got to be able to throw it back out there. You know, if you're putting the word in your spirit, you got to speak that word out. You got to speak that word out to that enemy. You got to let them know that's not what we're doing. Because I'm worthy. Because I know that there's greater out there for me. I know that there's better out there for me. I know that I can overcome this. That's why whenever somebody comes to me about something, I'm already an overcomer type mentality. Because in Jesus, we have the victory already. You just got to go through the process. You just got to fight through. So that on top of that, with what I learned from the show, and what I dealt with personally, you know, having to fight through that, and nobody would have known if I wouldn't have told them. But, you know, having to fight through, you know, all the thoughts that I had, because your mind is the enemy's playground. You know, that your mind is where the enemy sits. He resides there. So you have to fight through that stuff. And I had to push past all of that, because at the end of the day, What I do not want to do is have stuff in me and have this thing that I want to do, and I say I'm not going to do it because of whatever these outside forces are. It's God at the end of the day, with God on your side. If God told you to do it, let me tell you something. And this is my other thing. And this is why a lot of times I don't say stuff to people about what I'm doing and all this other kind of stuff, because you have people, right? You have people that will try to deter you. You have people that will try to speak against what you got going on. You have people that will try to tell you you're not equipped. You will have people that make you feel like you're not worthy enough. You will have people that will, come against you and say things and do things, and you're like, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I don't need to do it. Maybe because they're not on board, I shouldn't do it. Maybe I should wait until they agree. Maybe I should wait until they're on board. Maybe I should wait until they say that I'm good enough. You can't do that, because if I would have done that, this wouldn't be happening right now. My businesses would not be happening right now. None of the projects that I have tried to, projects I have done and been successful at, would not have happened, because I'm listening to people who are probably in fear of their own success, are probably in fear of them doing their own thing. So because they're in fear and because they don't feel like they can make it, like I was talking to my brother and one of my best friends yesterday, and I think it was my best friend that said somebody told someone she knows that don't do something because none of us African American people, we don't succeed, we don't get over, we don't do well in that. So you don't need to try to do that. And it's sad that, people, because of their experience and because of what they've experienced and what they've gone through, that they try to deflect and put that stuff on you because of the fear that they had, and because they didn't have the boldness to go out and do something. They feel like you can't do it, so they would sow negative seeds. You have to be so bold and courageous, and you have to be very unbothered by people. And also, when people compare you to other people, I get compared to people all the time that are doing a lot better than me and are very successful in some stuff. I get compared to them all the time, and it bothers me at a level, but at the same time, it could be a compliment, but it's like it could be intimidating too. So you have to push past all those elements, because if you don't, back to Oprah, if she wouldn't have pushed past a lot of stuff, they called her ugly. They called her name ugly. They called her all kind of stuff. They said all kind of stuff about her. They still talk about her. I'm not going to go too much in it, but, I be looking at Oprah Leffer sometimes too. But at the end of the day, look at where she is, and it doesn't mean that you have to do it the way that person does it. It just means that you can do it too. You can put your different spin on it. You don't have to do what some people say about Oprah and how she is with the relationship she has around her and the people she keeps around her. You keep some different people around you. You can do some different things. The projects she may do, people feel like she attacks certain people, whatever. You don't have to do that. You can do it in a different way. Doesn't mean that the manual for it, the handbook for it, has to change. The rules don't have to change. It's just the way that you do it that has to change. Put your own spin on it. Do it your way. Don't give up on it, because what you don't want to do, like me earlier this week, saying to myself, dang, I should have did that, because now so-and-so is doing it, and now I'm going to feel like I'm copying them because I didn't move when God told me to do it. You don't want to live with the if, ands, and buts. You don't. You don't want to go through life wondering what could have happened. You don't. So do it. Whatever your dream is, whatever your goal is, Go and do it. Whatever that demon is, whatever that situation is, whatever that temptation is, whatever that thorn in your side is. You have a thorn in your side, and that, you know, that means something that continues to tempt you, something that continues to keep you in this state of always being on the fence, on this thing of where at any given moment you could fall, any given moment you could fail, any given moment you could give in. Recognize it. And that's the other issue that we have. We don't recognize and acknowledge our issues. You have to acknowledge that you have an issue. You have to acknowledge that you have a demon. You have to acknowledge that you have these negative things about you, because if you don't acknowledge them, they will take over your life. They will take you out. They would literally cause you to die, because you refuse to admit, yeah, I'm nasty. You refuse to admit, yeah, I'm angry. Yes, I'm hurt. Yes, I'm bothered by that. Yes, I'm upset. You won't acknowledge it, so it can't even come close to being handled, because you will not acknowledge it. You have to not, and it doesn't make you a bad person. And this is what I'm learning too. Just because you have a certain characteristic and just because you have a certain personality trait doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes it something that you need to work on. Work on it. Doesn't make you a bad person. Doesn't mean that you need to be thrown away and not thought of again. Doesn't mean that. It just means, hey, acknowledge it and work on it. And no, it's not going to change overnight. No, it's not going to happen overnight. No, it's not going to be different tomorrow. It won't. It's going to take a process. Sometimes it takes months. Sometimes it takes years. Sometimes it takes multiple conversations. It takes a lot to get rid of stuff that you have had. Because sometimes we have stuff in us for years. We have stuff in us from childhood. We're dealing with some of the demonic stuff that our parents and our grandparents dealt with. So we got to fight all of that stuff, as most of us are not equipped to do it because we don't even know what we're dealing with. That's why you should have people around you that you trust and that can say, hey, nah, you need to work on that. You need to do better, because that is, no. You need to do this. I got this person that you could talk to. I got this place you could go. When you really want to work on it and you pray about that, God will send people, God will send resources. When Andre was in the hospital, his grandma found him in there and talked to him and convinced him to fight against the enemy. God will always send somebody. God will always, wherever you are, God can find you. Wherever you are physically, mentally, emotionally, God can find you. And he can bring you out of it. But you got to fight through it. So that's all that I have today. Thank you guys so much for joining me again. Contact me if you want to utilize my services as a life coach and a relationship coach. I coach families, couples, friends. I am a mentor. I am a public speaker. All of those things. You can contact me for if you want a session with me, or if you want me to speak at your event, you can contact me. If you have any questions, contact me. If you have any topics you want me to talk about, I do these every week on Saturday at 5 p.m. unless something changes and I have to change up the time. But every week I do this, and look out for the stuff that I got going on. And also I will save this and it will be on YouTube. I will upload it on YouTube hopefully tonight, and that will be up. Go to my YouTube page, Latoya Shantae, Shantae. You can see that on my name. I forgot it's on my name. So that will be uploaded later. What else I got going on? That's about it. Just be looking out for the next video and the next thing I got going. Like I said, I got something in works. I'm excited about it. I'm just excited. Just, be looking out for that. Y'all have been waiting for me to do it, and I'm going to do it finally. So I am glad that we had this time together, and I'm glad to see you guys doing well, and I hope you guys continue to do well until we meet again. Goodbye, my loves.